For more on German, China, and EU relations, Andrew Karolyi joins us live from New York. He is an Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and Professor of Finance at Cornell University. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So based on what we're seeing and what we've seen in the last few days, do you think Germany is pivoting toward Asia and China and vice versa?
There's no question in my mind. You know, it's tempting. We're about to move into 2 days of discussions with the EU-China summit. We've been doing these for 20 years. It's so easy to become jaded about it. But it seems to me at this point in time that the stakes have never been higher for this relationship. I can see that there are tailwinds that are pushing China forward. Not only the table stakes of $550 billion worth of trade ties between the two regions, but I see a lot of momentum that's pushing forward from the Belt and Road Initiative that was launched or that was pushed 2 weeks ago. And of course, it's hard not to talk about the shifting political landscape. You know, this shift towards greater protectionism. All of those are pushing forward the incentives for China, and I'm sure that Germany and the EU is seeing the opportunities before them.
Look, a lot of deals being talked about. Germany and China trying to boost strategic cooperation, especially when it comes to trade, as you mentioned, and climate. So what do you think each sees in the other?
Yeah, that's the fun part, isn't it, Elaine, is to actually deconstruct what both parties can try and take away from all of this. From the European standpoint, I think their eyes become larger when they see the potential that China is willing to put in towards infrastructure spend. The argument is that there's potentially $1 trillion worth of infrastructure spending through the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank that might be is in play. So that would be a wonderful opportunity for Europe as a takeaway. But obviously, they're not going to do this for free. There are a lot of concerns about anti-dumping charges against China in terms of inequity in trade relationships. You see discussions about inbound foreign direct investment restrictions that preclude access for many European German firms from entering into the China market. So there's going to be a lot of quid pro quos, and these are the things that I'll be looking for in the next few days as we sort of see the deliberations come forward.
I want to ask you about that, the EU ranking China as its largest trading partner. What else do you hope to hear and see at the China-EU leaders meeting in Brussels in just a couple of days?
Well, I'm going to be definitely watching for traditional infrastructure types of discussions. You know, a lot of the discussion coming out of the Belt and Road was talking about freight train access and sort of on the ground stuff. There's definitely going to be a lot of interesting telecommunications types of elements to the agreements that you'll probably see. I bet you there'll be a lot of discussion about climate. And then sort of maybe through the backdoor channels, a little more discussions about easing up entry restrictions in the Chinese market for European-based companies, easing up on outbound investment restrictions and inbound restrictions for foreign portfolio investments into China. I expect that to be on the table. So those are the specific ones that I'll be looking for. And of course, we should all be expecting some interesting surprises.
All right, we'll have to wait and see. Andrew Karolyi there at Cornell University. Thank you so much for joining us.
Cheers. Good morning to everybody. Thank you.